everyone, and welcome back, guys, to AOR Season 14. I'm here for Round 2 at China. Now, Round 1, I think it's safe to say, did not go very well for myself. If you did miss out on the highlights, I would highly recommend going back and checking them out. But today, at China, I was hoping for a bit of a better affair. I'm going to leave you on board with my quality lap. My only lap I was actually able to get in during the session. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to hook up another lap. But yeah, I'll leave you on board with this lap and see you at the end. So out then of the final corner, and we are going to come down towards the line, and it's going to be a 1 minute 33.5 there, which was not pole position. It wasn't a particularly good lap, I won't lie. There was easily another 8 tenths to find from that, and as you can see, P12 on the grid, just 9 tenths off pole. This tier is so close, it's actually quite ridiculous how tight this all really is. But yeah, hopefully, we can have better luck in the race. Actually, starting P12 is quite ideal, as it does give me a little bit of a more flexible strategy. But yeah, hopefully this Chinese Grand Prix, the aim at the start will just be to try and keep it nice and clean. But yeah, having a look in terms of race strategy, we're going to go for a set of the mediums at the start, then go on to a set of the soft tyres right at the very end of the Grand Prix. Be quick at the end, potentially try and get a set of super softs in if, we can get these tyres to last to, sort of 18 or 19 here. But the start will be absolutely crucial. But here we are then, on the grid, ready for the Chinese Grand Prix. Think actually I'm going to be one of the only drivers on the mediums when it's 5 lights on the grid, and it's lights out, and away we go. And actually off to originally quite a good start there, but unfortunately just trying to power down just that bit too early there. The back end kicks out, we're going to get swamped down in towards someone. Just going to try and keep it clean though on the inside. Ellis goes for a bit of a move on a lot of drivers. Nopples there just completely decides to squeeze me off the circuit, not really too sure. Yeah, I think he just wasn't able to see me there down into towards turn 1, but we do just about come out of that unscathed there or thereabouts. Now trying to hold it right around the outside of a couple of cars here. Orbit Pride goes around the outside. I'm just about able to spot icebergs there in the Red Bull as we go down in towards turn 4 and turn 5. He brakes very late, nearly goes into the back of the Haas car in front of him there, so I'm now able to hold on into P13 of the race for now. But yeah, this start is going to be absolutely crucial in, up to the end of my first stint. I just want to be able to keep it clean, keep all the front wing intact, and then, see where it takes me from there. Because to be honest, I'm not going to lie, with so many people on a set of the soft tyres, this alternate strategy for me could work out really well, as long as, the front guys sort of battled a bit and, the whole field kept very close during these first few laps. It would be very ideal for myself. Coming down in towards the second Snail S section of this lap though, and as you can see, I'm actually in a Haas sandwich at the moment. Orbit Pride and Brown behind me actually came together at Australia, which in turn caused, Brown to reverse straight back into me, into the middle of the circuit there. So, hopefully, I can try and keep them separated so they don't end up wiping me out again through. But, we shall wait and see how well that does go. Coming down in towards the final big braking zone of this lap, Brown not going to be able to go for a move there. I run a little bit deep, actually following Pride's line just a bit there in towards the final couple of corners. Brown thinks about going for a move, but unfortunately for him, I was able to come to the power just that bit earlier on as we were a little bit wide out of the final corner there. We've survived the first lap, and that is usually the most important. Someone's already pit, so we're up into P12 now, and now, we've done the most difficult lap of the whole entire Grand Prix, I'd say. So now hopefully we can sort of just cling on. But you can see further out the road there, Franglish has gone out wide there all over the grass, half spun the car, and that's going to give me another position there. So up now into P11 of the Grand Prix, and at the moment, you know, this is looking quite good for myself. One place outside the points on the hardest compounded tyres. We were actually looking not too bad at this moment in time, as unfortunately my teammate Coldhead does retire from the Grand Prix. But skipping on now to lap 3 of the race, and this is where it starts to get really, really interesting. VBR Poodle in the McLaren, just a little bit further in front of me there, because he runs massively wide out of the snailess section there. That's going to give me a good chance to go for a run down in towards, well, down this long back straight there. Nothing really he's going to be able to do to defend from that. I was running quite high aero though, unfortunately, which meant I was sort of just able to sort in ahead of him again. But he's going to try and look back down the inside of me. Going to be back out of the late breakers that are just about hold it later on the brakes. We're slightly deep into the corner there, but you know, we're giving the room on the inside, but it also means we can get on the power that little bit earlier out of the second to last corner there. Poodle then dives into the pit lane straight away there, so clearly he's not happy at the moment. I don't know if he's got a tiny bit of damage or what has happened to him there. But you can see already on the mini-map, the top 6 are starting to make a bit of a breakaway here. We've got TRL Ellis just in front of Nopals, Orbit, and myself here. We've got basically from Ellis in 7th all the way down to sort of P13, P14 of this Grand Prix. We're all basically now all on top of each other at this moment in time. So, you know, only that 4 of the race. Probably not the ideal time to, you know, be squabbling too much. Orbit goes for an almighty dive on Nopals there, even though Nopals has already turned in. Not really too sure if he ever expected that to work out, but I think Nopals might have a bit of a slight DC error as well, where unfortunately, you know, as we saw at the start, he just turned into me at turn 1 there, so we'll have to be a bit wary of that over these next couple of laps there. But Orbit, you know, trying to line up a move on Nopals here, and hopefully, you know, for the rest of us, looking like Ellis was going to really try and park the bus, clearly struggling on his tyres a bit more than the guys around him, and especially with all of us on like the softs and the mediums, it meant that by this point, you know, the tyres had sort of equalled themselves out a bit. The softs had an advantage over myself, but it was sort of pretty clear that the super softs were really starting to grind a bit badly there. Orbit doesn't get a particularly good run out of the snail S section again there, and now we're going to think about trying to go for a move on him. He is lagging around just a tiny bit, but Brown behind me has been able to get a little bit of a better run, running slightly lower wings than myself, down in towards the next braking zone though. Pride thinks about going for a move around the outside of Nopals there. Nopals tries to go for a move on Ellis on the exit the corner there and nearly lose the back end, so it's looking very, very tight, and hopefully for me, you know, we can just try and keep it clean, keep it out of trouble here. But you know, it was already starting to brew potentially a few little issues here as we come onto lap 5 of the Grand Prix. 23 laps to go in this race. You can see the top 6 are just breaking away just that little bit more and more at the moment. We run a bit deep through turn 3. They're going to try and leave Brown the space on the inside. We will have the inside for turn 2 there, so we are able just about to hold on for now at this moment in time. Pride runs a little bit wide just ahead of me there, so that's clearly not gone well for him, and now we might be able to line up a move down in towards the hairpin there. We're going to go battle of the late breakers there, but Pride just about gives me enough room on the circuit there, but able to accelerate that a little bit earlier on the traction zone there, so holds on to P9 for now. VBR Poodle unfortunately has retired from the race. I'm not too sure what has happened to him, but Ellis and Nopals in front, making a little bit of contact between the pair of them as well. Nopals going to try and look down the inside, but thinks better of it there, as Ellis just able to go that a little bit later on the brakes, and that's given Pride now a potential run on him, but Pride's been caught out behind Nopals there. We're going to try and have a look down the inside of Orbit. Pride that just about get the car slowed down in towards the corner, but Pride able to swing it right on the outside there, park it down in towards the second snail S section there, and he is able to hold on to P9 for now. Nopals making a little bit of a mistake further up there. Pride now might be able to get a good run on him. It was clear that Pride and Brown were running slightly lower wings than myself in this Grand Prix, so this is going to be absolutely crucial that we could try and hold on. Brown now is going to try to look down the inside, and we're going to go a little bit early on the brakes there, try to swing it right around the outside as he gets caught out behind Pride there. But I think for me, unfortunately there, we lose the back end ever so slightly out the second to last corner, and we have unfortunately lost that place to Brown there. So the Haskell's now rounding out the top 10 in this Grand Prix here. You know, it was far from over. Still, you know, so early in this Grand Prix. You can just see that once again through the first couple of corners, the gap to the top 6 was just getting further and further away. Nopals now really starting to get a little bit annoyed behind Ellis there, trying to try and defend as much as he possibly can. Orbit now might be able to line up a move on the pair of them as they go side by side out of turn 4 there, and I think, you know, they're just a little bit too hard in front to be able to see them. I think Orbit is going to try to look right around the outside of Orbit. Pride there nearly making a little bit of contact between the pair of them there, but they do hold on side by side for now, and I think Nopals has backed out of that. We've now got Die Hard Fan trying to line up a move on myself here. We're still using the Rich Revs when we can, to try and hold on. But Orbit now, there's been contact. Nopals has been sent out wide. He's now side by side with Brown as well. So coming through the next couple of corners, we're just trying to keep it clean by myself. Die Hard thinks about going for a move. We try and squeeze him out all over the curbs there. We just about hold on to P11 for now there. But Nopals goes a bit defensive. I try and have a look up the inside, but Die Hard is unfortunately there. In this battle at the moment, Brown and Nopals there make a bit of contact as well. Icebergs is now up into P12 behind me there, so there's just contact, just tiny little bits of contact just about everywhere at the moment. Ellis makes a mistake. Orbit Pride is able to go through now, and P1R Brown is just ahead of me. I'm side by side with Nopals as well, as he's running slightly lower wings than me. Down in towards next big break zone, we're going to try and have a look back to the racing line there. Nopals locking up the Franglish behind me in the Renault after spinning right at the start there is now right all over the back of me once again here. So this is just so close between all of us there. Brown and Ellis are just about able to hold side by side in towards the final couple of corners there. Nopals now going to try and go for a move. We've already got someone in the pits as well, so it's going to get even more difficult for those guys on more of a two-stop strategy here. But down in towards turn 1, unfortunately, I just clipped the back of Nopals there, and I think there is a little bit of lag between us two as he nearly gets sent out sideways through turn 2 there. But that tiny bit of front wing damage there really going to cost me here, because this game just so bad. If you even dink the front wing, you lose so much front downforce here. But Franglish going to try and have a look around the outside of me there, thinks better of it as we come down in towards sector 2 here. And Nopals, Brown, and I think that's Terrell Ellis still as Orbit Pride. Just keep looking at your maps ever so slightly there. Just watch how big a gap Orbit is instantly able to make over the rest of this there. But also have a look how much downforce I'm losing through the S section here. Franglish going to try and have a look up my inside here. We try and give him a bit of a squeeze over the curbs. Brown and Nopals side by side once again. We try and give Franglish even a bit of a squeeze through the next corner as well there. But fortunately for me, we're not able to, make that stick for now. We're going to try and have a look right around the outside of Franglish there. He's squeezing me out wide through turn 12, I think that is. We're going to squeeze him out wide through turn 13. Just a lack of steering where he gave me no room to try and turn in there means that we're going to hold on to P10 for now in this Grand Prix there. But Franglish going to be able to get a very good run on myself here down in towards the next couple of braking zones. And Franglish, he's got a much quicker set of tyres. They are very worn, albeit, but he should be able to hold on for that. We're going to brake as late as what we possibly dare. Have a look right around the outside there, but Franglish is able to hold on to P10 for now in the Grand Prix. And now we've got Icebergs behind me down in towards the final couple of corners there. Brown has opted to make a pit stop there very early from that set of the soft tyres there. Clearly just fed up of being stuck in this battle there. But there's another car in the pits. I think that was Sam F1 LFC has now dived into the pit lane as well here. So this is looking like we're going to have a few quicker guys trying to fight their way through on much fresher sets of tyres as well very soon in this Grand Prix. But Franglish, Nopals and Ellis are still all over each other. We've now got Icebergs trying to line up a move on myself on his set of the super soft tyres here. But, we're going to try and hold on from him for now. Close up on the 3 ahead of me fighting there. ESR CJ, unfortunately, now has retired from the Grand Prix as well. But Franglish now thinking about trying to have a look on the round. Any potential move he can make on, I think that's Nopals, still ahead of him there. They're going to go side by side in towards the next couple of corners there. Ellis then is just going to give Franglish a position there. Team orders clearly coming into play there, and this is, just really frustrating the rest of us that's still stuck behind him at the moment. Nopals, is getting more and more frustrated. We think, about going for a move up the inside of him in towards the next couple of corners there, but unfortunately for now, just not able to make that stick. Die Hard now behind me as I run slightly wide out of the S section then. I think that's going to give Die Hard a bit of a run down this next straight here. What's he going to be able to do in that Toro Rosso car? Side by side, a tiny bit of lag as he's rubber banding around just a tiny bit here, but he does have, once again, slightly lower wings than myself. He's now going to try and have a look down the inside into the next corner. Brakes very late there, goes into the side of Ellis. Very late on the brakes from him there, and Ellis gets squeezed out wide, which is kind of a godsend for me, because, we've got Ellis now out of the way. Die Hard does hold on to P8, sorry, with those very interesting strategies there. Nopals runs wide. Die Hard is then going to be able to get a bit of a run on him down in towards turn 1 here. We've got a few more drivers now in the pits as well. Up now into P6 of the Grand Prix we go. Nopals backs out of that. Die Hard now moves up into P4 of the Grand Prix, but Nopals going to try and keep his nose up the inside there. Die Hard does spot him very well through turn 2. And now he's just going to be able to hold on for the moment. But now right behind me, we've got Sam F1 LFC on his fresh set of the super soft tyres here. And he's just going to have so much more grip, so much more speed than myself. He's going to think about going for a move down the inside there. Die Hard runs wide, gives back Nopals the position as well. But Sam, you know, he's going to have so much more grip than me. He's going to try and hang him out to dry around the outside there. And there is one word for that. He has completely mugged me off through the S section there. That Sauber car had just so much grip on that fresh set of tyres. But speaking of tyre wear, you know, for me, it was looking quite good at the moment. Where we hadn't really been pushing the car too much, we'd sort of just been able to keep it a bit clean for myself, though. But we now got Orbit Pride in the wall, so up now, back into P6 of the Grand Prix we go here. And now right behind me, I think, is VRT Herschel. I think he won race 1 of the season as well, so he's on a fresh set as well, trying to get through, you know, almost this back marker traffic, but it was, you know, more than half the field really here. But Herschel now going to try and have a look down my inside in that Force India car. Die Hard, we're going to get the slipstream on him as well, trying to have a look to the outside of Die Hard, down in towards the braking zone. It's going to be 3 wide, down in towards the corner there. We brake as late as we possibly dare, run a little bit deep into the corner there. Die Hard just completely shuts the door on me on the exit of the corner there. We lose the back end just a tiny bit, somehow able to keep it facing the right direction there, but Die Hard just parks it completely through the final corner there. We're going to try and push him out of the final corner. We're now going to move up into P5 of the race. P4 as well, as Die Hard's a bit slow, and I thought he'd try and hold it down the inside into turn 1 there. Just completely outbrake myself as I was ready to give him racing room. That's lost me a handful of positions there, unfortunately, as we now side by side with XRL Bobberts here. He's going to try and hold it right around my outside through turn 2 on that set of the soft compound tyres there. A much fresher set than myself here, and has been now back down into P8 of the Grand Prix, and Bobberts now as well lagging just a tiny bit in front of me here as we go through the hairpin once more here, and unfortunately Bobberts has lagged, taking me out of what up to that point was a pretty damn ridiculous Grand Prix there. Absolutely gutted with that on the whole. I will probably have to talk to the stewards about that, because, you know, him and Hayasa, unfortunately, they did wipe out a few cars during that Grand Prix, and that is certainly not what we need from that. But yeah, 2 retirements from 2 races. But yeah, that is the end of the Chinese Grand Prix. Quite long highlights, I think, still, to say the least there. But hopefully, you know, if you guys have enjoyed, do not forget to like and subscribe. But I will see you hopefully next time for the Bahrain.